Victim blaming. That's very easy, especially for wrongdoers who don't want to be held accountable for wrongdoings. Let's picture a scenario. Let's say you've sent a nude to a partner who may or may not have been trustworthy. That partner has a close friend who may or may not like you. They somehow get a hold of it and decide to humiliate you for a laugh by sharing it with everyone. Or it could be the partner themselves doing this. So many people you've known all your life decide to turn on you. You get some help handling the situation, but then that help approaches it from the easiest and safest hindsight. Oh, well, you shouldn't have sent that nude in the first place. What are you, that stupid or something? Then the bullies themselves, who used to be your friend, use something closely related to that as an excuse. Oh, I wouldn't have made fun of you if you didn't send that nude in the first place. To me, scenarios like that are handled wrong. Regardless of what the victim did, it doesn't make bullying them right, justified, excused, or tolerated. There's that talk of, oh, you brought this on yourself, or you put yourself in this situation. That I don't agree with, because for the most part, I'll come back to why I say most, the victim themselves do not create the situation of hate. They don't treat others like garbage in the first place. The people who create the situation of hate are the people who hate to begin with. Now, I'm going to be talking a lot in second person here. The victim never asked you or forced you to bully them. You did that all by yourself. That's your choice. The victim never created the situation of hate. You did because you're the one hating. By trying to excuse yourself from any sense of responsibility, by blaming the victim for your actions that you made willingly, you're just making yourself look pathetic. I'm sure the victim can admit to what they've done, but can you? Going back to the talk of, oh, well, you shouldn't have done this, that doesn't get rid of the problem. When you say that, it gives the idea that you want to keep the status quo in this complacent society that already has holes to begin with, but doesn't do anything about it. And don't say, oh, there's nothing we can do about it, because I believe there could be a lot more done. That's why I'm making these videos in the first place. It sounds like betrayal and misbehavior are tolerated too much. You want to live in a world of close-mindedness and divide? By your logic of playing it safe, that can be applied to victims who get bullied for dressing and acting a certain way, like goths and emos. By your logic, it would mean that the best thing to say is, to dress and act normally? That's terrible advice. Whatever happened to being true to yourself, inside and out? So long as you don't hurt anyone, of course. But because society has progressed, I certainly don't see victim blaming for goths and emos, yet you see it for the nude maker. But both people probably haven't harmed anyone. Now, people can say, oh well, children can get their hands on a nude, so you can forget becoming a teacher. Now, you may be right, but this video isn't about long-term effects. This is about short-term betrayal of people close to them, people who the victim trusted. Plus, that nude wouldn't have been in the hands of children if it wasn't leaked to hundreds of people by the wrongdoer. Also, let's be real here. What kind of bullies to prove a point? They do it because they think they're funny and tough. Now, I know sending nudes is a pretty dodgy example, so I need to make something clear. A lot of people do it. Yes, it's been done from an adult to a minor, which we know is legally wrong and shouldn't be tolerated. But when two adults do it, no one really cares, unless the recipient made it clear that they don't want it. And then when two minors do it, we just say, well, you know, you're too young for it. A lot of adults do it, and I've just kind of come to accept it. But I do not encourage it. Let's make that clear. It's like smoking. A lot of people accept other people doing it, but they certainly wouldn't encourage it because of the long-term health effects. Even if the nude was shared willingly by the victim themselves, you know it's still wrong to bully them. I know some of you may find it hard to resist bullying someone like that, but actually think about it. Who are they really hurting? Again, they're not hurting anyone, but you are, second person. So, who's really the worst person here? If you don't like what someone's done, just leave them as they are. Don't make it worse. Now, betrayal is everywhere. Most people, if not everyone, will experience a sense of betrayal at least once in their life. But victim blaming? No, especially when it's not deserved. In fact, I vaguely remember hearing the news about a woman who got raped in 2018, I think, in US or Canada, I believe. One of the officers involved said something along the lines of, well, you shouldn't have dressed so provocatively. And that's just not the right attitude. Yes, some women can dress loosely on a night out, but while of course it doesn't justify crime, it shouldn't justify any sense of horrible insult, in my opinion. Maybe loose, but it's not public nudity. Sometimes the help isn't good enough. Sometimes it's just to leave them alone and that's it. That's just a slap on the wrist. They don't tell them why betraying someone you've probably known for so many years for something you merely don't like is wrong. Now, I can sort of understand some bullying to victims only on conditions when they did something genuinely illegal, or they genuinely hurt someone on purpose for an unjustifiable reason. But there are plenty of scenarios where the victim doesn't commit a crime and doesn't hurt anyone, but still gets ridiculed. This is what this video is mainly about, those scenarios. There are some things in this world that shouldn't even have horrible social consequences to begin with. You may not like the minor things someone has done, but it doesn't mean it's okay to bully them. You can disagree with someone without throwing them under a bus. It makes the victim feel forced to fit into a society that brings shame onto things that shouldn't even be shamed upon. It makes them feel like they have to look over their shoulder every 5 seconds and be a lot more image conscious than they really should. The lesson of this video is this. Instead of just victim blaming, there needs to be more accountability held on the betrayers and real wrongdoers, and they need to be punished more instead of just a slap on the wrist. If you're being bullied and shamed for something harmless, don't give in to the shame. Keep being yourself, because you are not the problem. Also, don't insult the innocent victim. Don't call the victim stupid, you're just going to make them feel worse when it's really not deserved. The final point to think about is this. Take any friend, close or distant. Let's say they do something you don't like, a harmless action, and you're about to throw them under a bus. Is it worth it? Is it really that bad? Did they hurt you so badly that you're willing to take whatever kind of relationship you had and end it? Think about that.